Okay, been a little bit since I've posted. You'll recall I don't edit these things. They're kind of a one-take post, so they're far from professional quality, and I don't do it to make money or anything like that. So I'm doing it just in the hopes that it provides you value. When I did a review on this Defender, I had mentioned that I had a plow on order, and I think a few people had said, hey, let us know how that plow goes. So it's a good, I've already plowed. We had about 8 inches this morning. Plowed 8 inches, and I don't know, we've got maybe 2 or 3 more. So I'll do a quick run of plowing this driveway. You can see the mountain of snow out there that I've been pushing the last couple weeks. We didn't get hardly any winter here in Eden. After last year, we just got absolutely crushed. And this year it's been pretty dry. And then all of a sudden the last 2 weeks, we've just gotten absolutely hammered. So, this is the Super Duty. This is all OEM Can-Am. So keep in mind, my comparison is having had that Ranger Crew that's in one of the other videos that I had for like 11 years, 10 years, 11 years, I think. And it had a hydraulic plow on it. This is the best that I could find that was OEM. And I try and stick with OEM just because the fitment elements and usually get pretty decent quality. But I'm just going to share with you your perspective. Your opinion may vary, certainly from mine. But I'll just walk you through what I've really liked and what I don't like. I'll also walk you through quickly what came with it versus what you have to buy as an add-on. So it's a, whoa, it's really slippery right there. Ice underneath the snow. We'll keep that on video again, no edits. It's a 60 inch wide. It's semi-hydraulic. This is one of the things that I don't love, where, again, I'm coming from that Polaris Ranger one, which was a full hydraulic. So this is hydraulic left and right. It's a winch up and down. It's seamless as far as the operation. I'll show you that in a minute. I don't like the winch operated, and Can-Am doesn't make a full hydraulic, which I think is really lame, but especially for what you pay for this. I think I was into the plow about $3,000 to have it installed. By the way, I wouldn't pay them to do the install. My local dealer had no idea what they were doing, and I'll show you some of the issues that I had when I got it, because it wasn't even functional when I got it, because they just didn't understand how to install, which is crazy. And I know that's being critical, but it's the truth. And the install really wouldn't have been that difficult. And I think they charged me like $600 or $700. So kind of lame there. I did like the street legal kit on this. So if you have the capability of doing something like that, you certainly could install this plow. So it's a winch up and down when you're out plowing and you're in the snow. This thing has not gotten stuck. It's done really well, but I hate the thought of not having access to my winch if something was to go wrong. And in this case, you obviously could unhook it, but if you're stuck somewhere, you're not going to take this thing. It weighs several hundred pounds. You're not going to attempt to take it off. You're not going to unhook the winch from the plow, because then the plow is down and dead weight. So your winch becomes only usable for the purpose of the winch. You can't use it for any other getting unstuck assistance. So that's the way it connects. So one of the issues that I had here, let me see if I can free this up in the snow. Should have put on some gloves. So this, when they first did the install, you can see there's a lift hook here. And that's really when you're putting the plow on and off, that's just for you to lift the dead weight of the plow onto your unit. Pretty simple on and off. The Polaris Ranger was a little bit easier. It was like literally pull a lever, unclick your electronic connection, and then back off. This one takes a little bit more work, a little bit more effort to do it, especially just loosening the winch. But when they first delivered it, or I went to pick it up, they had put the winch on that piece, which is just a lift piece. This hook that it's on actually is mechanical. So it acts as a locking release. So when the winch pulls up on that, it actually allows the winch, or excuse me, the plow, to rotate left and right with the hydraulics. When there's no pressure on that, and that hook is depressed naturally, which is spring loaded, so it depresses, it locks the plow in place. Why they do that, I have absolutely no idea. If you know, I'd be really curious to know and understand why. Because when I have my plow down and I'm scraping, I can't move it left and right. That actuator locks the plow in place. It has a little locking pin. So kind of silly. When you do, has a little kickstand. You can see how it locks and unlocks up here at that point. But a little kickstand so that, and when I lift it up, it'll fall back in place. So when you're storing it, it has a way to stay straight up. That's not unusual. That's consistent with the way the Polaris Ranger one was too. As far as what came on it, you buy this plate that goes underneath your rig. That's what it attaches to. And then separate piece is all of this centralized mechanical system. And then you purchase the blade separately. As far as add-ons, I bought the guides. They were probably 60 bucks or something. I bought this snow deflector, which is a huge bonus. I think it was probably 100 bucks. That keeps the snow obviously from flipping up onto your windshield and you going white out dark. I bought the drift cutters. They're still heavy duty, but they're a little pricey. They're like 100, 120 bucks each side. They do not come in a pair. They don't sell them in a pair, which I guess makes sense depending on what type of plowing you're doing. I'm doing a clean driveway, so I'm trying to push it all out instead of pushing it off to the side. It came with a steel blade. I'm doing concrete plowing, and so I bought a poly blade. That was probably another 100, 120 bucks, something like that. If you'd like links, I'm happy to send you the part numbers because it's a little bit, it's difficult to navigate their system. There's no like one package that has, you have to build it piece by piece. And I even consulted with my local dealer to get that part figured out. So there's a poly blade. If you were doing blacktop, probably no need to do the poly blade. These drift cutters, because they're running steel against the concrete, they get raw. You can see my rust marks. I attempted to start to put wood instead. I'll power spray those out, but again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a bit particular and a little bit anal, probably heavily on both of those elements, and so that stuff just bugs me. So the control element, this is another thing that was quite different than the other unit. Let me turn it on the vacuum inside. Let me turn off the heat here. So the control piece, hopefully you can see, let me turn on a light in here. It's a joystick. And I think that maybe, I don't know, maybe this is tank rules or they just installed it upside down and I haven't flipped it. But the joystick right now, down is up is down, left is right, right is left. And somebody may look and say, no, that's exactly the way it was supposed to be. I now have had it on long enough that I've acclimated to the way that it works that I've ended up just leaving it. But ideally I would have just flipped that, just pulled that segment off, loosened it up, flipped it all the way around so that it was intuitively the right direction for the way that my brain works. Anyway, the reason I like the Polaris Ranger one better, instead of it being a joystick, which seems pretty cool, pretty slick, I like that it was up here. They actually replaced this plastic piece and it was a new handle that slipped on and it had 4 buttons. And that was crazy convenient because you're always going forward, reverse, you're always shifting, you're always going low to high, and to have that all in one place instead of me going back and forth, I think that was a no-brainer. So let's Let's see if I can do this one-handed. If you've got one of these machines, you know that they just will not run without your seat belt. It starts to limit the RPMs heavily and it gets all jerky and messy. So we're gonna go, let's pull forward just a little bit. I'm in 4-wheel. When it's lighter snow like this, I stay in high gear just because you don't get the speed in the low gear, and I'd rather get the momentum up. So let's try and do this one-handed while we're filming, but at least give you a feel for the way that it pushes snow. It does it nice and clean, and we'll see it ramping up this mountain here. So you can see I probably have that wall. I mean, what is this thing? This is 7, I think it's about 6.5 foot tall. So that wall is probably 7 foot tall, and it's pushing pretty good. I'm doing it one-handed, so not ideal. Otherwise, I'd be lifting the plow up higher as I get higher on the ramp. But let's back up here, and you can see just kind of the clean line that it does. I mentioned that we've been getting hammered, so realize right now my concrete is extremely snow-packed, so I won't get super clean runs here. The plow's doing its job. It's just, yesterday it was -8. Mother Nature's not cooperating with giving us some melt off. So the guides, those orange guides, because this thing sits wider than the rig, they're a no-brainer. They're an absolute must, at least in my opinion, because you can see right now, I'd have to look up where I've got the plow down. I can't see, I have no visibility as to where the corners of those are. And I've got 8 kids, and we keep multiple vehicles in the driveway with the kids' cars, and so navigating around their cars when there's snow, it's ideal to have visibility as to where the ends of my plow are, so I'm not cutting corners and I can still get it as tight to walls as possible. Give you a few more runs here. Hopefully it's helpful. So it took a little, 10, 11 years with that other machine. I was really used to it. You just know your machine well. I was super happy with it. The first day I got out on this, I was like, what in the crap did I just do? With all the money I just dropped on the machine and then on the plow, I was not loving it, but I love it now. My only criticism would be where the controller sits. I think the handle's a much better location. And then again, I think it's ridiculous to use a winch for a plow of this size. I think you absolutely should be a full hydraulic. That just makes a ton more sense to me and gives you the accessibility or the utility of using a winch if you get stuck. So that's my feedback to Can-Am on the unit. But otherwise, wish I had another party here to do some outside filming. There's some, in fact, maybe I'll add some links. When I was doing my homework, there's some good dudes that have posted videos from the outside of them plowing. I can't recall if it was exactly this unit, but of them plowing. So I know there's other guys out there, and I'll link to theirs as well. Throw them some love, because they were of huge value to me as I was making my decision. But that's it. Windshield wiper, awesome. To come out in flip-flops and a t-shirt and have this thing heated and plow the driveway is awesome, because my last machine it was not enclosed, no heater. So this has been dream come true for me from that perspective. You can see too, there's your connection. So when you dump it, you just throw up that kickstand, take that off, lower your winch, unhook the winch, and back away from it. Leave it where you want it. So it's fairly simple. Takes less than a minute to hook and unhook. overall, I'd give it a solid 9. The only thing that's keeping it from a 10 are those two things: the location of the control, and then it not being full hydraulic. Would love your comments. Hey, by the way, another gentleman had posted, I thought about putting a big LED bar on the top, but I found somebody that found these xenon LED headlights or whatever they are. I'm probably getting that wrong, but man, with brights on and with those installed, you're like 3 or 4 times what this thing would light when it was stock, and that's been fantastic. That's been killer. Other than that, I think that's it. I've loved the stock tires for plowing. Like I said, I haven't gotten stuck. You can see I've aired down a little bit. You can see a little bit of a bulge there, just to flatten them out a little bit, make them a little more pliable in the snow. But otherwise, it's been awesome. So give me some feedback as far as what you've seen or what you're looking at, or if you found better tools, or if you got better solutions. If you're seeing anything that I'm doing and I'm doing it wrong, and you have some pointers for me to get the most out of this thing, I'm open to that too. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of videos out yet on this plow setup, so hopefully this is of value to somebody. Appreciate you guys. Keep having fun, be safe, and post again soon. Thanks, bye.